when you transitioned over to the Marshals, what was the training like? Just the basic training for the Marshals.
In the beginning, it's a lot of physical fitness, and the instructors were all non-military people, and they they were gym maniacs. They were runners, and they were into exercising, and they tried so hard to beat us down. And you're not beating a bunch of guys and girls that are in their early 20s that just got out of the military.
Yeah,
You're not. I don't care how much you train. You can't.
We already know the game.
Yeah, and
yeah,
you can have us in the push-up position for 3 hours, and they did, and we got to do 1,000 jumping jacks and push-ups and sit-up. You're like, all right, and then run for 5 or 7 miles. But you run in a pack, so you're like, half the time you're walking because the guys in front of you are slow. So it's like, this is nothing.
Yeah.
And then back then it was just a lot of classwork, lectures. It wasn't as sophisticated as it is today in the training academies and the police academies, that they have better technology where they can teach everybody. Back when I went, we didn't have no cell phones. You didn't even have laptops. We're all here. I've worked on wonder that took them using a typewriter to fill out forms.
Right.
And
that's old school.
The training, real old, and the training manuals were still, like in binders. It was like you just make copies of it and that. But it was great. It was great training. It was fun. A lot of great times, and the camaraderie is awesome. And then to get into more with the Marshals training, it's a hands-on academy, because you're going to be dealing with, prisoners, fugitives, bad people. So you got to learn how to strip people down and search people, handcuffing, controlling people to walk to the car, to walk from a cell, or walk to a courtroom. They teach you how to walk with a prisoner or a new arrest. You have to learn how to process prisoners. You have to, they teach you how to do searches of houses or apartments, even doing a vehicle inspection, doing protection details on judges and U.S. attorneys. And then, of course, the glorious part of the job is what everybody wants to do when they're in the Marshals, because everybody watches it on TV and the movies, is everybody wants to work fugitives and work investigations and, go after the bad guys and all that exciting stuff,
So that's the hard part to get into in the Marshals.
Yes. Yes, it is. And I was very, very fortunate that the majority of my career was working warrants and investigations, fugitives. And you just, you develop a knack for it. I think it was, my personality, my past experience being in the military, being a cop, military police, an investigator, and knowing how to work cases. I just fell right into it, and it was awesome, and then, very terrible was, 9/11, and I'm in New York, and right after 9/11, the Patriot Act comes out. The Congress comes up with funding to support the Marshal Service to create fugitive task force to go after the worst of the worst, to work with the local police and other federal agencies. And New York was the mothership. New York was the first ones to come with that, and it was the New York, New Jersey Regional Fugitive Task Force. And it started right after September 11th. And I was lucky enough to be in Eastern District in New York with Southern District in New York, and they created the task force out of there, and I was part of it. And I spent the majority of my career out of my own district working with the task force as an investigator, and then I got promoted years later, and I was a supervisor with the same group. So, I stayed right there doing it. My chiefs all believed in me and entrusted in me with all the powers to do it. All the guys and girls I worked with, and then they worked for me. They believed in me to do it, and it worked. It worked great, and I had a good time with all that stuff. And we worked some of the biggest cases out there.
So, okay, this is a question I have, kind of just for myself, but
Yeah.
and for people listening that may ever want to get in this career field, to kind of understand it a little better. So the U.S. Marshals is in charge of going after known fugitives, people that are wanted by the courts. How do you guys get these targets?
Well, first off, for federal cases, federal fugitives, the marshals are responsible to go after people who jump bail